Roy
tackle the complex subject of false memory syndrome. It reported there is a growing body of psychiatrists, therapists, etc. to deal with forgotten abuse, while a leading American psychologist argued that a startling proportion of them are ignorant of the works of memory and are unwittingly leading patients to falsely believe they are victims. Here's one example.
And it was as though it sort of hit me. Something happened with my grandfather. It must have been sexual. I can only describe it in that way. I believe now that I wasn't abused. Retrospectively, I believe that my therapist reconstructed some of my own vague memories around sexuality and almost planted the idea of an incestuous experience.
A number of calls congratulating the programme, but those outnumbered by the ones complaining of its bias. Pauline Ward of Alveston, a therapist, suggested Inside Story
should have been required to present the parallel study of the successful validation of recovering memories of sexual abuse. Not to have done so disqualified the investigation.
And a few more thoughts from Norwich.
There seems to be an eagerness on the part of the BBC to be more akin to ITV, by using quasi-commercial breaks in the form of not particularly informative trails between programs. I've lost count of the number of times I've seen trails for Love on a Branch Line and the World Cup, to name but a few. At the moment, this is merely an irritant. But one more viewing of the incomprehensible plug for Simon Mayo's radio program will really drive me bananas.
Love on a Branch Line certainly has enjoyed a trail or two, this being the new comedy drama on Sundays in which Jasper, a confused young civil servant, is let loose in the midst of the completely balmy Flamborough family. Many of you find it quite delightful. I'll leave you with a little bit of Michael Maloney and Leslie Phillips. Good night.
Wonderful!
I wonder if my baby does the Charleston. I wonder who's teaching her the Charleston. I wonder where she's gone, or how she's getting on. I wonder where my baby is too.
If you have any comments to make on BBC programmes, please write to Points of View, BBC Television, London, W12 7RJ. Phone or fax 081 576 4560.
Inspired by a true story, Criminal is the tragic tale of life and death in an indifferent world. Screen 2, shortly on BBC 2.
I have a survivor here. Could somebody please help?
When disaster strikes, a community is thrown into a living nightmare. Amidst the storm, a town desperate to restore calm. Amidst pain, a test of courage. And from courage, a search for healing. 1,000 heroes in half an hour.
And on BBC1 now, the 9 o'clock news with Peter Sissons.
The government responds to